It's said the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, if you're traveling by air, watch that first step. It's the airport. And if you think all you need is a ticket, you have no idea.
I have no idea what gate we're going to leave from. I have no idea if we're even going to get on the plane. I have no idea if they're going to put an adult by the 5- and 7-year-old. Nobody will tell you anything. You just have to wait, have to wait, have to wait.
No doubt about it, our airports have a wait problem.
You're not even flying today?
No. Consumer Reports said that if you make your travel arrangements 2 weeks in advance at the airport...
This line, we're all flying today.
Please, sir, if you don't get back on...
Then what? I'll be arrested? Put in airport jail?
Why bother? If you're at the airport, chances are you're not going anywhere for quite a while. Long lines, lost bags, bad food, hard seats, high prices, and announcements no one can understand. This much is clear. For travelers, what used to be an oasis has become an ordeal. Why? We decided to find out.
Okay, well now we're at, where are we?
At Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, the headaches start before you even arrive. DFW has 4 terminals, 2 belonging to American Airlines. As you arrive, there's an electronic sign that's supposed to tell you which flight is at which terminal, assuming you can speed read as you whip by at 55 miles an hour. We were looking for the next flight to Atlanta, but the sign wasn't even on. So we guessed and pulled into the first terminal we came to.
Hey, I'm looking for the 1245 to Atlanta. What gate is that?
Gate number 8 in the 2E terminal. Go north. Follow around, take the north exit to 2E.
So this is the wrong building.
This is the wrong building.
Thanks. South is that way, the West Hotel is that way, the North Airport exit is that way. But I still don't know where the other American terminal is, so we'll try our luck. I think we screwed up. Looks like we're heading out of the airport. To get from the wrong terminal to the right terminal, now we have to make a loop of the entire airport. Okay, Terminal 2E. Hey, there's my plane. According to the odometer, it took us 4 miles. We had to go completely around the airport to get from the wrong place to the right place. I think we've finally done it. By the time you get to the right gate, you feel like Neil Armstrong stepping on the moon.
If you think that's bad, try getting around here without a car. For instance, what if you're changing planes and you have to go to a gate at the other end of the terminal? The average terminal is a half-mile long, so there's a motorized cart for those in a particular hurry.
But people complain about the design of the airport?
Yeah, they're just pretty much lost as soon as they get here. They're just not, you know, it's so big.
That it is. DFW's terminals are spread along a 7.5-mile long road that runs the length of the airport. If you're trying to get from one terminal to another, there is a train.
Oh, no, you have to wait 10 minutes.
But let's say you're going from Terminal 3E to Terminal 4E, right next door. Well, you just walk. But you can't. There are no sidewalks. And the train goes only one way, the other way. So
you got to go all the way around. You can't catch a train going. All I want to do is go one terminal over, but I got to go all the way around the whole airport.
A trip, by the way, that can take a half hour or more. What's wrong with DFW? Well, when it opened in 1974, it was hailed as the airport of the future, designed so you could park and then walk a short distance to your gate. Fine if you're starting or ending your trip here. Trouble is, 60% of those who use DFW are changing planes. You see, not long after DFW opened, deregulation transformed air travel. Fierce competition between airlines led to the hub system, where passengers are funneled through cities like Dallas en route to other places. That's more economical for the airlines, less convenient for you.
They bring you in on G, and your gate's always over at K somewhere, so you have to run like heck to get from one gate to another gate, and half the time you don't have that much time, so we ran like crazy to get over here.
Hard to believe, but it wasn't so long ago that air travel was not only convenient, but downright glamorous. Passengers put on their best clothes to fly, and why not? It was a rare event. When a loved one flew, the whole family came out to witness the big moment. In fact, families often went just to sightsee. When I was a boy in San Francisco, one of my favorite things to do was go to the airport. Sort of the way kids these days go to a mall. My mother would take me out there on weekends. I'd walk around the terminal, watch the jets take off. Imagine that I was the one who was going to some of those exotic cities listed on the departure board. Take kids to the airport these days, and chances are they'll be wide-eyed all right, but not with wonder.
I am angry.
This is not a lot of fun.
It's very boring.
That's true. Somehow, airports manage to be boring and stressful at the same time.
Wait a minute. I don't care about the paperwork. We're sitting here, that plane's in the air, and we have seats.
It's so aggravating. And then the food at the airports, just to feed the kids hamburgers, you know, like little hamburgers with nothing on them and little Cokes, was almost $40.
You wonder, what do airport designers think about when they're planning these places? Well, we asked architect Helmut Jahn, who designed the United Terminal at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
I see an airport like some of the small model of a city. The terminal is kind of the town square, and then you come in the concourse, the first concourse, and the concourse is kind of like a street. It's like a long street.
Emphasis on long. If you have a flight at the end of Concourse C, you have to hoof it through Concourse B, down an escalator, through a tunnel, up the other side, and through Concourse C to your gate. Total distance from curb to gate, nearly a half mile, part of which Jahn has turned into a futuristic fantasy of pulsing neon and new age noise.
Something had to be created which made people feel that it was an extra bonus, an extra experience they got if they actually were lucky enough that they had to go through here.
So you've got to trick people into thinking that this is fun. Of course, when your flight's been canceled and you have to spend the night at the airport, all the neon in the world won't help you stretch out and relax. Why are chairs so uncomfortable in airports? Why couldn't you design something in an airport waiting area where people could lie down while if they have to stay overnight in an airport or wait for hours at a time?
You can't design an airport when all the planes are delayed and 50,000 people are in the terminal and they don't have a place to sit.
Well, all I can say is I hope you never have to wait 5 or 6 hours for your flight in the middle of the night. You're going to be looking for a place to lie down.
I don't plan to spend any nights in airports.
Well, that's a load off all our minds. Now, if we could just find the genius who's responsible for luggage carts. We mean, why is it that at European airports the carts are free, but at U.S. airports, if you can find one, you got to pay first? We put that to Dave Plavin, who oversees operations at all the airports in the New York area.
The fact is that European airports function differently from ours.
Plavin pointed out that in Europe, airports are completely supported by the government.
In the United States, airports are much closer to private entities. They are required to be self-supporting, and they are required to be able to operate on their own without any tax subsidy. And in fact, we don't receive any tax subsidies.
I mean, let's face it, how much can it possibly cost to subsidize luggage carts?
Today, the cost side of it is about $8.5 million a year.
For luggage carts?
For luggage carts.
But take heart, all you frustrated frequent flyers. There's a new airport scheduled to open this fall in Denver that claims to have learned from the mistakes of other older airports. Richard Boulware, the man in charge of the $3 billion project, says it'll be better because it's bigger.
The amount of concrete that we will have put down on opening day with all the runways and ramps and taxiways is the equivalent of a single-lane highway from Denver to Chicago, Illinois.
That means more runways, which Boulware says will prevent the snow delays that plague Denver's current airport. There will be people movers to speed you between terminals. Instead of the usual greasy, overpriced food, a wide range of restaurants, and a high-tech delivery system to make sure your bags arrive when you do.
Is this traveler's heaven? Is this really going to be the answer to a frustrated flyer's prayers? If we're really doing our job right, we need to get them in and out of here fast as we can, because people don't come to an airport to have fun. They come to an airport because that's where the airplanes are.
True, but as we mentioned earlier, it used to be fun, too.
Look, yes, we're flying, smoothly and swiftly.
Of course, that was back when air travel was just for the elite few. Last year, a record 470 million Americans traveled by air. It's as common as taking the bus, so it makes some sort of weird sense that airports now seem a lot like bus stations.
Travel is not glamorous.
Not anymore. No, the word that comes to mind now is...
Stranded and lousy. but the boss here, so it's all right.
That's the spirit. Eat some of that junk food, curl up in one of those plastic seats, and make the best of it. What's the use complaining? You're at the airport now. You'll just have to get in line.
I hate this place.
Anything else you want to know? If I had wings, I'd fly.